Hey folks, Phil the B-Man here. Been doing some thinking about these high mite levels, and some of you in the comments have been helping me out. Just a reminder, we've got anywhere between 8% and 36% varroa mites in this test. It's quite. These numbers seem high. These seems like there's something haywire with this. Seems like we might have a bias in the sample somehow. This is critical thinking in action here, something I teach at university. The bias can be sampling bias, right? So are we, by sucking off the bottom of those clusters with that device I made, is that where the mites are hanging out? Is it picking up mites that are laying on the bottom board? Both of those seem possible. It's also possible that we have other kinds of bias, right? I'm only able to suck bees off of the hives that have them, right? So it seems to me that the next step is to try to figure some things out here. So I want to do two things. In this video, I'm going to just go through and all of those cards, and actually with my heat camera, see how many of each type of these are alive. There were hives that I did not get samples from because I couldn't find any bees in the thing. We should go back, check those specific hives, see if they're dead. Turns out if my survivors on these are 36%, I probably got dead ones in that batch. And so it'll be interesting to count dead hives by treatment type. The other thing I'm going to do, and I'll think this will be a follow-up video, is climb the ladder, get to the top of the stacks, and suck some bees off the top bars, and on the same hive, suck the bees from the bottom bars, and see if those numbers match. Or if they're different. So that'll give us a bit of an idea. Remember, the standard protocol for sampling mites is to take them off the brood frames. I've never seen it explain why. Like, is it because that's where there are more mites, or there's fewer mites but a more consistent level? So I mean, part of what I'm doing here is trying to figure out a sampling protocol that I can do in the winter time and understand what those numbers mean correlated to what they might be in the summertime. Okay, so that's the plan. I'm going to take my camera attachment into the shed, find live hives versus dead hives, and count them up. So here we have a spade, very much alive. You can see the bees hanging down below. Another spade. Bees in the back there. So I'm actually not, well, that one's very much alive. Clubs, alive. Huh. Beautiful heat signature on some of these. You can see the outline of the tags. You can see some of the bees flying around. Another bunch here. That's a spade. That's a spade. That one's a club. It's a little smaller, but there's still a nice heat signature there. Hearts. Nothing on the bottom. Okay, we'll go around to the other side. That one doesn't look too promising. diamond. Very nice there. Beautiful hive there. That's a spade. That's a spade. Here's a heart. It's not a huge cluster, but it's hanging down nicely. Love, nice. These ones are from a different trial. I was going to check into that one next. It's just a 2x2 trial, FLIR versus HopGuard. That should give us some pretty clear results if HopGuard is as bad as we think it is. I'd say that one's probably dead. Well, here's a Lion King down way down here. I think that one's dead. Yeah. Okay. We'll mark those. Okay, so we got some results on fatalities, and this is interesting too. So I got a couple different trials going on. So on the 4x4 trial that we already have the mite levels for, we have clearly dead, no heat signature, nobody home. The FLIR treatment clubs, only one. The spades treatment, and these are out of the 12 possible. So 1 out of 12, 5 for the formic, 8 for the HopGuard. So, 2/3 aren't even alive. So when you think, 36%, those hives, I'm surprised they're alive. Yeah, because most of their buddies are not. And then the oxalic, only 2 dead. Now the good news is the standard treatment for the vast majority of my hives was FLIR and oxalic. The vast majority of these hives actually look just fine. When I was going across the tops trying to find some dead ones to make sure that I knew what that looked like with the heat gun. I took my step ladder to climb way up to the top of the top stacks to lift some lids and find some for sure dead hives. I had to look quite a while to find a couple. So, obviously hitting them with everything that I thought was really going to work was the right strategy. On the hives that had no treatment that I was planning to play with this winter, boy, it's rough. 44 out of 110 already pretty much gone. Either there's not enough bees left in that hive to shed any heat. So if they're not dead, they're going. I have another trial going on, which is a 2x2 FLIR versus HopGuard, basically even numbers of deads. So that's a little surprising given these results. But so I need to get into those and get some mite samples as well. But we still need to figure out what's going on with these high mite levels. Although, given the fatalities here, those numbers aren't as unbelievable as they were before I started checking these deaths, right? So yeah, if we think 2/3 of the hives in that treatment group are dead, then high mite levels are not a surprise. So that's what I got right now. It's still a bit of a puzzle. I think the other thing is that explains why I had those blank, the greasy papers with no mites and no wax on them, because a whole bunch of these hives are dead, and by misfortune, the ones I chose to slide the papers in had no bees. So no bees, no mites. So now I've marked all of those that are dead. I can go back and do a formic treatment on them again. Not formic, sorry. Go back and, sorry, I'm just out of the bee shed and I was wearing the respirator and my nose is all funny. I can go back into those treatment hives, find the ones that are still alive because they're marked, and I can do an oxalic treatment on them with the sticky papers in and try to see if I can knock down some mites. So constructive couple of hours spent checking all those hives. So stay tuned. We're going to figure this out.